As usual, let's jump right into the very last game of this group stage.
Yeah, let's get right in here.
And speaking about the possibilities, just quick recap. Rat is 100% out. I mean, he is very far behind in all regards. Joseph is almost 100% in. Very specific things have to happen. Very strange things have to happen. And Fibonacci, almost out. But he could. There are elements that could
some kind of like comeback in here. So right now we see Fibonacci losing to the round 1 creep wave, which of course doesn't make a difference because it can't actually lower the quality of the items you get at round 1.
And I think we were talking about it after the cast. The start of the Underlords just seems so slow, so devoid of action compared to the end.
Yeah, I mean it's a really really big change of pace. If you guys are like watching and paying attention, like in round 20 things just get crazy super fast, and rounds 1 through 20 are kind of like a stroll through the park. As players, you have a lot of decisions.
The drafting phase.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. So we see an Axe 2-star already, which people are saying is like potentially pretty powerful. Now, Brawny's, I don't know if it possibly has been hotfixed sometime in the last few hours. I know there was one hotfix already. But Brawny people have been saying the Brawny buff is inconsistent. Yeah, Brawny people that play Brawny units.
Got it.
Yep. But if you can get these like kills early on, and this is, actually ends up working out for you, it's in theory pretty powerful.
And this is kind of the perfect situation. You get the Axe level 2 in round 2.
Exactly.
Get the creep kills. You see the kill streak there as well. Has the UAV active.
Yep. And we're going to go ahead and see what items these people are picking up. We see the double Smuggler already. Smuggler on round 2 is just like almost the dream. Like Smuggler on round 3 is already good, but on round 2 it is insane. The ability to get, a high level tier 2 item on round 3 almost guaranteed is going to be great for you. We see Fibonacci picking up the Summoning Stone already as well, which we talked about as a lot. Very, very powerful.
And has a bit of Savage already splashed in, Enchantress and Tusk on the board.
Yep. One of the awkwardnesses right now is if you're Fibonacci, you literally kind of need to get first place to have a chance, right?
Yep.
Just because he's on the edge, his score is really low. So something like Beast that has maybe a good time getting like 3rd or 4th place, but a hard time getting 1st place is maybe not what you really want to be going.
Now it's going to be tough for him to, like you said, move forward. He has to get first no matter what. If not, 0 chance.
Yep.
Second will not cut it.
Yep.
And he started off today, 1st place position, and ended up crashing all the way down to 7th.
Yep, and we see BBG and 4HE both picking up the Fall from Grace from their Smuggler. Almost the perfect start.
Zabiyaka as well, so 3 Fall from Grace coming in. Bat Rider pairs on the bench for a few players. We see pairs all around. Shadow Fiends as well found for Joseph and Fibonacci. Very strong early game unit. And especially when you get to level 2, it's a huge power spike.
And as we mentioned, Fall from Grace is just really good. It's part of what makes Knights so great. The ability to turn human, which is useful, but not necessarily the strongest alliance bonus, into Heartless, which is it's almost the strongest bonus, right? Being able to deal that much. Mathematically, the amount of damage you deal when you have a Heartless pair is just so much more.
There's a level 2 Axe. Let's see if he can get a few more kills.
Yep. And this, you can see this chainmail already come in and so much value. This Tusk is basically just not dying here. Unfortunately, because there's not enough DPS coming in from Fibonacci's side, he is probably going to go down here.
And that's before the Enchantress get her ult off as well, so cannot heal the Tusk up, but still
actually,
will be enough.
Good. Yep. The Tusk with the chainmail does actually scrape it through barely here.
Don't see too many level 2s, to be honest.
Although we have picked up 2 Shadow Fiends already on the side of Fibonacci and Joseph.
Fibonacci with the Summoning Stone opening. He does find Nature's Prophet. He has the Druid build starting up and the Tusk level 2 as well.
Yep. We see Zabiyaka get the Anti-Mage 2-star as well. Anti-Mage, just like in a Demon Hunter meta, he's kind of like find his home finally. For the past 2 months, a lot of people have been kind of not really drafting him early, but now that Demon Hunters are in right now in a very competitive level, he can kind of shine as an early game unit. The ability to just burn mana is actually a really, really strong passive that hasn't really been able to see play just because his tags haven't been great for a while.
Well, he was kind of relevant in the Treant spamming meta for a week or so.
Yep.
Being able to kind of counter that very, very strong Druid opening before he got moved to 3-star or 3 cost. But yeah, like you said, I think it's much stronger now with Demon Hunter not relying on these trained bedfellows.
Absolutely. So we can check out, we can see BBG thinking about Hunters yet again, and we can see that's like largely in parts to the Fall from Grace. As we mentioned before, that's part of what makes Hunters better. It's just because like they have a very powerful human that actually, wants to be attached to physical damage. Mages have humans, knights have humans, but mages don't want to deal physical damage, and the one Lycan is enough.
And we saw last game, Hunters was not contested at all.
Yep.
So possibly BBG, a player that's second right now on the leaderboard, needs just a consistent top 4 placement, goes for the strategy he thinks might not be contested. It currently isn't.
Yep.
We'll see in the next few rounds if that ends up changing, but possibly going for a safe comp, like we said, maybe similar to Savage, where it's like that top 3, top 4 comp, which is all he needs to secure his top 4 spot for tomorrow.
And again, probably the most important strategy right now to keep in mind is to try to avoid going the same paths as other people. As Panda mentioned, it's just about being able to get your 3 stars online, and you just increase the probability of that so much if you can be on your own builds, just because you're rolling so much more on average per game because you get the free rolls when you lose, which means stuff that gives you roll value is really important.
Well, that's the case for most of these players, but for Fibonacci, for example, I think he doesn't have that chance. I think he has to try and high roll, maybe into Knights, for example, that we've been seeing with very consistent placements, maybe Demon Hunter as well. He has, maybe some Primordials as well in the bench, but overall he needs to try and risk it to try and find his way somehow to day 3, rather.
Yeah, I completely agree. We see BBG hitting a couple of powerful upgrades here, just like the last couple of games. It looks like he's off to a very, very good start with this front line, 2-starring the Pudge and the Tiny just this round.
Fibonacci as well, win streaking, 100 HP, needs to stay healthy, and needs to stay relevant all throughout this game.
And we can see BBG's about to just cream this board from 4 HP. Sorry, 4
Great
HP.
Tiny's done.
Yeah, not even close. Let's go ahead and check out the Streaker contest. Zabiaka versus Fibonacci. Winning the streak is really important towards the economy early. It's actually pretty close. This 2-star Bounty Hunter can actually deal a lot of damage on this board.
Yeah.
It's just 2 Batriders, but this log is going to stand in its way. This Batrider has enough napalm stacks. I think it's got it, but it could... It's dead in 1 hit. The tree has it, though. And it knocks out the streak early. That makes a pretty big difference.
Tree gets the win and then kills himself the second after.
And
he did his job.
Fibonacci keeps the streak. That really matters early. Like these early gold points really matter for the idea of economy because gold kind of compounds on itself. Early gold means early interest points, which means even more gold in the mid game.
We see a very, very, very early Sand King in the bench. If you're going for Savage with Summoning Stone, you normally do go for Savage. Might be what he looks to do. Hoping to hit a 4 Savage unit here to hit that power spike as well.
Yeah, and he's really looking to, try to protect the streak alive. It's a really good source of additional income, just like 1 free every time. But he queues into Rat12, who has a very strong board right now. The Chaos Knight is kind of unpaired on the Knight side.
Enchantress
2-star Demon
does not get her ult off, dies instantly. Batrider much of the same. Nature's Prophet, that Tree Boy is not going to do much this round, and it's going to be a wipe. The Sand King's Sons, but it's just not enough.
Yep. So no single streaker. Zabiaka got his streak knocked down, but didn't lose a single point of health for doing so.
And Rat 12 is going to be a very powerful board for the next few rounds, I think.
Yeah, I think he's got the strongest board here. Fibonacci has the streak. Recently on round 7, he had completed the level 2 Shadow Fiend, looking for the demon path.
We talked about the Shadow Fiend. Once you hit, a few players had it level 1. Fibonacci was one of those players. Finds the round 9 level 2 Shadow Fiend is very, very strong. Becomes much tankier, doesn't die instantly to that DPS that some of these comps can be having this early on, and gets an ult off guaranteed.
Yep. You see this warrior frontline. I really like, when you 2-star a warrior early, just getting the 3 warrior frontline is a really, really good thing for this early game, when the most important thing is just getting your frontline established, because you need your frontline before you can even think about your backline.
There it is, the guaranteed ult. Bounty Hunter gets that right in his face. Anti-Mage also going to be going down.
Yep, and that's the difference between 1-star Shadow Fiend and 2-star.
Exactly.
If that was 1-star Shadow Fiend, Bounty Hunter just taps that and he's out of here. This fight goes completely different, but because it's 2-star, he just has double the health. He's got 900 instead of 450, so that doesn't happen.
And these are units similar to maybe Queen of Pain 2, Beastmaster 2. You can ride to very good win streaks in the early game. Just end up in round 15 with a very healthy life total because of these units specifically.
Yep.
Much more than just alliances or comps in general.
See Rat12 and Fibonacci picking up the streaks in this case. And we're hitting the break round, round 10, another item round, and we can see what people are starting to do. Rat12, of course, has the elusives online early, with his druids, being able to splash an anti-mage. And he's got Phantom Assassin. We've actually seen 6 elusive just a little bit today and a little bit yesterday. Could see a path that goes into that.
although I believe it was Fibonacci, ended up starting off this group today with an elusive build. Only got to 5 elusives, didn't hit that power spike in 6. Ended up in 8th place, and that kind of started his downslide in this day 2 for the NA group.
All right, let's see what we got here. We have 1 player on Hunters, uncontested. 2 on Knights. Pretty low at this point. I think a lot of players might be starting to feel like, you know, somewhat they're over-contested, and like players that have gone Knights, especially in these like last 5 games, oftentimes like a Knight player will get 1st or 2nd, but the average value of a Knight player like isn't that high. It's like maybe like 5th place, right? Because they block each other.
It started off pretty, you know, a lot of variety in the comps. We saw game 2 with the 2-star Medusa, the Primordials, I think it was in this group as well. But the last game specifically, 4 people had Knights. So you could feel how they were contesting each other. And yeah, could be some PTSD from last game, some players moving on to different comps because of it.
Yeah, I really like how Underlords basically as a game very much incentivizes you to kind of like do your own thing. Like obviously what's strong is still going to be strong and what's weak is still going to be weak. But if the meta is pretty balanced as it is like right now for the most part, you are largely going to be just really wanting to avoid what other people are on, if you have the ability to.
An early Arc Warden here for Rat. Has a very strong front line already. And some good DPS from the Arc Warden, but Morphling does slide right into that back line.
Arc Warden gets pummeled down, but the rest of these units, especially the 2-star Anti-Mage, is just going to do a really good job carrying this. So Rat's going to preserve his streak. Fibonacci's streak is pretty good here. The Shadow Fiend needs to be able to take this out, but he's got it. He's got 2 logs, right? Yeah, not even a problem. All right. And that's the nerfed Shadow Fiend for you there, Panda.
And that's the level 2 Shadow Fiend early swim.
Yeah, so Shadow Fiend, a pretty neat hero. Just, you know, imagine this hero before it gets nerfed.
Anti-Mage 1, but 2nd is on the bench, and Terrorblade as well on the bench. So all of a sudden, a very lucky roll can find Fibonacci already, point leader, or life total leader, on a win streak, could really catapult himself to, like BBG last game, a dominant position for the whole game.
And we can just check out these streakers. I'm very interested to see what will happen if they hit each other. You know, I think the level 2 Shadow Fiend might make the difference, but the rest of these 1-stars feel pretty weak. Whereas with Rats, they're at least a bit cohesive. I get my wish as both boards hit each other. We're going to watch from Fibonacci's perspective. I think Rats got to be favored here. Shadow Fiend could go in huge, though.
I think the Treant ult did not go off, so that sustain is missing.
Anti-Mage on the Shadow Fiend is pretty big, but it doesn't power it down, and the Shadow Fiend just has
and the Helm of the Dying as well is huge. Yeah, it's just not going to be enough.
Yep, and Shadow Fiend will be going down.
Still with Fibonacci, you have a lot of potential with Terrorblade 2 almost available and Anti-Mage as well. And Fibonacci is currently 5th in the leaderboard, so he needs to just secure a nice consistent placement, outplace some of the top 4 players, and he could find himself in day 3 tomorrow.
Yep. If you're Fibonacci, you're thinking, okay, I'm good if I get like 2nd, I'm super good. 3rd or 4th, I'm pretty happy.
And Terrorblade 2 makes that, you know, you feel way better. Like BBG last game, it's a very strong start, and it's a comp that scales perfectly into the late game. He is missing the Blink Dagger. We've seen it happen, you know, pair very well with the Terrorblade all throughout the week.
Yeah, but with the Birch of the Aggressor, it'll still kind of help it get there in the mid-game until you pick up that Blink. Part of the reason Demons and stuff that's item-dependent is so powerful, like Terrorblade, it's so important for that to get Blink Dagger, for Demons to really do what they do. Part of the reason people aren't talking about is because global items are gone, right? That's why stuff like Mask of Madness, stuff like Blink Dagger, you can find so much more often.
And it's a close one here, but that Sniper cannot do enough. The Pudge lasted for a very long while as the front line there for the Hunters.
Yeah.
Joseph,
Panda.
round 13, Razor level 3, first place in the leaderboards. He has to be happy. This is a big, big, big power spike.
Yep. This is going to be good for him. Unfortunately, the rest of his board is pretty weak. I mean, I don't know if this is enough to really carry him.
He went Mages last game, and he has that Lina and Ogre Magi on the bench. Of course, Rager 3, so I think he's not going to be selling that anytime soon. Going to try and fit into some kind of final comp.
He's got to get Mages online. I'd like to see how he can turn this around. We've seen Joseph being pretty much, I would say, an expert at turning, you know, a bad start into a pretty powerful mid-game.
And of course, his econ game is strong, 52 gold at the moment, round 14. Going to find the easy level 7 after the creep round, I believe.
Finds himself against Rat 12 here. This Razor needs to be able to dish out enough damage here. It's not getting amplified by something like the mages. Oh god, I think he might lose this, Panda.
Does not move forward either, so the AoE damage, we're going to have to see the units move forward, to take some damage there, but it might not be enough. Shadow Fiend and Razor.
Got Blade Mail. Blade Mail on a 3-star early is a lot of damage, but I mean, it's probably not going to be enough. Needs a second one.
And the anti-mage, not going to hit it.
Yep.
So Rat 12, we mentioned it. He just looked very strong from the moment he assembled that front line that he has right now.
Yeah. And out of all the 3-stars, a Razor that doesn't really have synergy and isn't even tanking isn't really what you want here.
Yep.
I might have liked to see like a swap position-wise, having like the Blade Mail be more front and center. But at the same time, it's possible Yosef is perfectly happy just like continuing this lose streak and getting that 2 gold.
And of course, this odd formation is because of the round 15 creeps. The assassin-like creeps that jump onto your back line. So, of course, you have the shuffle here with the front line going to the back and the back line going to the front.
Let's take this opportunity to check out what our players are doing. As we can see, Fall from Grace is just kind of a path definer. 3 guys got Fall from Grace early. 1 of them went Hunters, which has Lycan Human. 2 of them went Knights, which are just kind of like the ideal minus armor comp, because they have the humans as well.
Looking at Hunters also, they are currently a bit more contested than the last game. We see 2 players, MeNoHaxor and BBG, both on Hunters. Originally, it was just BBG. Aegis found for MeNoHaxor and Forhi. 2 important things to remember.
Okay, and it's all up to the stabilizers here. I'm going to see if Yosef is going to be able to, basically at this point, get the 3rd mage online is going to be the most important thing. And once he does that, this comp gets places real quick.
And Rat 12 and Fibonacci also both contesting demons. You have a bit of Demon Hunter on both players, which could be a problem. Both players are at the top right now, but it'll be hard for both players to find the Anti-Mage 3 and Terrorblade 3 if they both stick to demons. Well, there's the Anti-Mage 2 for Rat 12.
And that's big.
The second one as well.
It's the second one.
He's behind on the Terrorblades, but he's ahead on the Anti-Mage. Maybe a bit of a trade needs to happen between both of these players.
Yep, and that's not bad for him. I mean, as Rat, by going Terrorblade, you're kind of blocking Fibonacci. And typically, because there's so many players in a game, you don't want to be just blocking one other player, right? Because then you're hurting yourself more than you're hurting them. The problem is, though, Rat and Fibonacci both have such strong boards right now. They're the only 2 on demons, which means they're kind of allowed to block each other.
And Rat, of course, cannot move on tomorrow, but he is playing a bit of a spoiler in this game, messing with Fibonacci, who is currently 5th, and definitely needs the points to make it.
So Rat, he's just good. He can kind of play God here and choose, a little bit who lives and who dies.
Yeah, you look at his board, you don't see, clear alliances built, but you just see very strong units and all of them level 2, so you say, okay, this is just, Treant, Chaos Knight, they're units that you just want to see early on, Anti-Mage as well.
Yep, and it looks like Joseph, Zabiaga, and BBB are hitting big lose streaks here. Usually level 7 is a big turnaround for these boards. We have, Joseph's 3rd mage in here, which should help him quite a bit. But, his health is scary low for round 17.
That's a Joseph classic, really. Yep. But if he gets 7th place, he guarantees moving on to the next game. If he gets 8th place, some things can happen for Fibonacci to leapfrog him on round differential, on a tie, and Joseph would be got knocked out. So he has to focus on only at least placing 7th. That's really his goal here.
Basically, as long as he doesn't get last place, he is secured for the top 4, moving on to day 3. And his board looks solid here. The 3-stars are coming through. His lose streak is getting broken. Getting against Rat's board as well, which previously was very strong, but looks like it's fallen off a little bit. Zabiaka beats Forhi's board as well, losing his own streak.
And rather, Fibonacci is 4th, actually, so it's Forhi the one that's 5th, and Forhi is the one that has to leapfrog Joseph to take, that 4th place. But it's going to get very, very hard, I think, for Forhi. Let's look at Forhi's board really quick. He is the one that has to he's 5th right now, so... And he's going for Knights, so... A fairly safe comp if you can find it. He finds the Omni Knight.
With a start like this, you gotta feel safe with it. You've got Fall and you've got 4 2-star Knights already. That's that's safe
Witch
progress.
Doctor, you're finding a lot of pieces that you need. Still at 50 gold. You find the 4-Knight combo here. And the double Warlock, so you have to feel safe. Trolls as well.
That's very good. Yeah, everyone has a strong board. The weak players here have hit their stabilizers. It's very, very common. This is typically the time when the weak boards are stabilizing. If they're really weak, they might have to wait until 21. But at 17, where you hit your full economy, you level to 7, get your bench in play, and you're going to be against the best boards even.
Forhi and Fibonacci 4th and 5th place on the leaderboards right now, battling out. Still in the mid game though, so nothing too crazy on the line just yet.
I mean, honestly, he's on Demon Hunters, Panda. Of course he's gonna win.
Joseph takes a win there. 10 damage on, I believe it was MeNoHaxor, so stabilizing for now. Does have that level 3 Razor, which is a big unit to have this early on. Well, he had it much earlier than this even.
Yeah, the additional mage is really what makes the difference. Like the third level 2 plus mage, you know, being able to amplify Shadow Fiend's damage, Razor's damage, which, you know, otherwise was being wasted.
And the bench is looking good too. He went down to 30 gold though, so I think that was very smart of him to try and, you know, do the mini stabilization, moving on to the round 20 and the full stabilization later on when he thinks he really needs it. But for now, I think he found a pretty decent board. Still has the Druids there, kind of odd in mages for now, but still in the mid game.
C4, he completed the other Luna 2-star. And this is what happens when there's only 2 players on Knights. Both Knights players have 6 Lunas total, 2 2-star Lunas each.
Yeah, sharing is caring.
Yeah, it's a pretty disgusting start all around for people not on Knights. But both Knights players are on pretty low health, so they do need to stabilize.
And the Viper level 2, they're melting that very squishy 1-star backline for Rat 12. So finally, Rat maybe meeting his maker. It's going to be close here, but...
This Witch Doctor might not be able to pull it through. This Terrorblade is just too strong. Rat is just going to continue dominating here. And again, I mean, we can just see the power of Demon Hunters here. It's going to be up to the rest of the lobby to figure out the best way to be able to counter this board.
But, I mean, if both players are going for it, they could get in each other's ways. Maybe not find that, you know, the legendary level 3 Terrorblade that wins games. And in that case, it might just be beneficial for the rest of the board here.
Exactly. And this is what we were talking about when we were talking about the Demon Hunter change to make it less reliant on strange bedfellows. It's more powerful than ever, but you also now have the opportunity to kind of block someone else on Demon Hunter much more than ever. And we enter the round 20 creep round. So this is where the game really starts to accelerate. We see 2 players at basically 30 health looking to stabilize on very powerful outs. Forhi is very close to some 3-star Knights.
I'll have to take a deep breath here because from now on it's going to get very exciting. Of course, the last game of the day, the last game of the group, and we'll find out who moves on, top 4 from the NA group, to make up the Lord Alliance tomorrow for the last 2 days of this tournament. Joseph has stabilized. He does have that win streak, so he found the way to stabilize. We're going to see now if he continues to roll down. He has 25 gold. He needs a 7th place position. He makes it. So he knows he doesn't have to play for top 1, top 2, top 3. He just has to make it, you know, ahead of some of these players, and he guarantees his spot tomorrow.
Forhi picks up a round 20 Moonshard, and Forhi's on 6 Lunas could be incredibly disgusting if the Luna gets level 3 soon. We see players hitting level 8 at their standard timing. Fibonacci hits the Anti-Mage 2-star, which is the first one of his. Rat, I think, probably has the better Demon board right now.
Yep. He has the Anti-Mage 2 away, so Fibonacci getting in the way of that with that last purchase there, but still, both players are looking very strong, even if they are contesting each other.
And we see Crystal Maiden getting upgraded by Joseph, a very important upgrade here, because of course you need that extra mana to make the hero even really worth running. I think this board is very stable. It hits Zabiyaka's Night board, and I think it has to be golden here.
Yep. Joseph, 18 gold, but he has a strong board. He has a strong bench as well. A few more outs lined up there.
Ooh, and this is not golden at all. The Knight's shield is enough to survive this big mage verse. Joseph loses his new streak, and that's pretty rough. I mean,
9 damage though, not too much. 24 HP. You're still not, you know, 1 hit away. So,
absolutely.
But you are at the bottom of the leaderboard.
After blowing through your gold like that too.
Yeah, you need someone, at least one person, to lose before you. That's the main thing.
There is a literal stars aligning opportunity for Joseph to not make it to day 3. It involves Joseph getting 8th place and, you know, like 4 other things.
It also involves Forhi making, you know, a crazy, I think it has to get a 1st place, I think, and he is currently 7th. So maybe Joseph not super worried. Especially if Forhi loses before him. That's like the golden moment for Joseph as well, I think.
Joseph against Rat. That's another rough board. Rat's board is one of the strongest in the game right now. The double CK demons have to be making it through. But demons are very squishy, and they are melting to this mage.
Maybe last game was a bit of a fluke. Joseph still seems fairly strong.
Yep. Mages are very bursty, so they're great against like these offensive boards like knights, but very vulnerable to, or sorry, offensive boards like demons, but vulnerable to knights that can survive the burst. As we see the AM 3-star getting completed on the side of Rat. If he wasn't the strongest now, before he has to be now.
Yeah. Terrorblade's still only at 4 different units, so you can tell Fibonacci's also on the Demon Hunter comp. Batrider 3 though. For Porhy, the player that needs to, pull out a miracle here to make it to the next day. He's currently 5th on the standings.
Very, very within range, but it's hard with this game. It's actually a very even game, though. These two Demon Hunter players, they're starting to block each other. This is kind of the part of the game where Demon Hunters need Terrorblade 3 to really keep up the momentum, and they're making it very hard for each other to get it. Porhy versus Fibonacci's Demon board. And we can feel it falling off already. I mean, Terrorblade without 3 stars is just not really the same.
Porhy looking very strong right now, 30 gold as well, and a pretty strong bench as well. A lot of units that he can start developing into level 3s. Joseph, 11 damage.
It's a big, big hit.
No Aegis either.
Yep.
And now he is certainly at 1-hit range with 13 HP.
That's good against MeNoHaxor.
Of course, if someone can get 8th and maybe not be all that worried, it is the first place player, which is Joseph at the moment. But things can happen.
Fibonacci hits a big upgrade in the form of Enchantress. This gives him the guaranteed 3-star on the Nature's Prophet.
And we talk about, Summoning Stone. He has a Lone Druid. He has Nature's Prophet. He has a big Savage combo with Lycan as well and the Venomancer. And he is a player that needs to get first place. Nothing else counts for Fibonacci. Currently 7th, needs all the points he can get.
Zabayaka hits the 3-star Luna with the Mask of Madness, dealing absurd damage, and hits Joseph. That's disastrous for Joseph. He's at 13 health. He needs to not hit a strong board, but Zabayaka might take him out here. His Knight's Shield is active. The Luna will survive the burst, and this Luna might just chunk down the entire team. It's not going to be enough to kill him, though.
The Viper does it. Zabayaka.
So Joseph does get chunked here, but he does survive. And that's all he's really looking for.
There's only one Viper, so not enough damage to take him down. But, I mean, he's getting very worried. I mean, he's very low compared to the 7th place player. Every other player above 30 HP, and Joseph down to 8 HP already. The mage transition wasn't as clean as he would have liked. He got too low too early in Joseph's style, but the comeback did not come in as we expected.
Yeah, this is a lobby with some exceptionally strong boards. Basically, everyone's like, already on at least one 3-star or a very powerful board. Otherwise, we've got 2 Demon Hunter players.
You talked about Axe coming in very early on, and if it would be surviving to the late game, and that's a level 3 Axe about to happen. We'll see the kill count on him to see exactly how high it is. Not too crazy, but acceptable maybe. Yeah. Juggernaut is also there.
BBG takes the pretty aggressive level 9 on 25. And this is just the play when you want to be able to fit in an extra unit. BBG on the 6 Heartless path, which is something that you don't really see too much of these days since it got nerfed to 15 minus armor.
And Zabayaka in 6th place in the standings right now. Also a player that needs to place very well here to make it to the next day at 41 points at the moment. 4th place Fibonacci started the game with 46. So already a bit of a gap he had to climb.
If Aegis on Fibonacci, which means Joseph is the lowest health by a really, really wide margin. I mean, he's going to have to survive probably until 30 at the very least to even try to get 7th.
Now, the magical number will be 53. Joseph ends up in 53 points if he gets 8th, and the rest of the players will have to pass that magic number to advance.
The ideal is the Dragon Knight. He needs to complete Dragon Knight to swap out the Treant to level 2. It's a big upgrade to the board if he hits it. Got a few rolls. He knows that he's on the ropes here. He knows that he only has a couple chances. He's looking for a Disruptor upgrade as well. He's rolling very, very desperately. He sold the Treant in advance just to be able to roll a little bit deeper. This is not the situation you want to be in if you're Joseph.
Nope.
Everything's on the line.
Dragon Knight comes in. Does transform with a puck on the board.
It's Fibonacci's Demons. I like this new Razor positioning with the Blade Mill. It's a bit more aggressive. This Tidehunter's not going to get a huge Ravager at level 1, just stunning 2 units. But at 8 health, he needs to be able to win this.
Ooh, the Pudge on the Coddle ruins the burst there, and I think that seals the deal.
Joseph is getting 8th place. Is it possible, Panda, that he doesn't make day 3?
We saw Max throw, and Joseph is doing his best to imitate him in this second group with an 8th place. He just needed a 7th place, Joseph. What are you doing?
The point leader, he still has good odds.
Yep.
He's still high enough points, but it's possible that he doesn't make day 3 off of this.
If someone can place 8th and still make it, it's Joseph. He was leading the points when we went into this game, but not what he wanted to see. The rest of the, the rest of the group is obviously very happy that one of the top players is out in 8th place.
We can see these Knights are very happy that they're not being super contested here. This is some of the least contested Knights have been today. Just casual 2 Knights.
Dragon Knight was released by Joseph. Maybe was picked up there by Forhe, who is the player that needs to bump out Joseph. He is the 5th place player right now in the group.
Forhe versus MeNoHaxor. These are going to be the 2 low health players of the group. As you mentioned, the level 3 axe did recently complete, and that's a very chunky front line.
Techi's Bomb does not do enough, I think, but the Knight's resilience might be too much for these Hunters and Warriors to handle.
This axe is tanky, but he is going to go down here.
Sniper's still doing damage, though.
There's no backline here. These units are just going to melt.
Yeah. BBG was defeated by Zabiaka. BBG also going Hunters. And it's gotten a lot closer now. All of a sudden, players were above 30 HP. Now, or pretty much all of them are below 30 HP. Zabiaka and Fibonacci, 7th and 6th place respectively. So both of these players, they're trying their best to pull off the miracle. Every time we jinx it, we say this has to happen, and it's happening. Joseph is 8th.
Wait, Panda. Okay, walk me through this. What exactly has to happen? The
Fibonacci needs first place. Fibonacci has only chance at first place, and then other things have to happen. So if he doesn't get first place, he's out. Zabiaka is 2 points ahead of him, so he has a bit more leeway there.
Fibonacci, health leader right now against 4HE. He's got the 3-star Luna with the the Moon Shard, even better. And this is a truly, truly absurd amount of damage, Panda.
I think I'm going to have to let you cast by yourself while I just crunch numbers for the rest of this game. It's that crazy. It was so much easier with the EU group because it was, some players were so far ahead. We had our 3 players guaranteed, but in this group, it's absolutely crazy. So many permutations here.
So this Luna is chunking for upwards of 900 DPS with the minus armor on the Heartless coming in. This is very, very insane amount of damage. When you can put this much attack speed on a Luna, there's the 10,000 damage we achieved in just that fight alone. All 6 players except for Zabiaka have gotten knocked down. Fibonacci is at 17. He got really, really chunked in that last fight. We're on round 29. Anything can happen here.
And all these players are so much slower.
6 players are in one-shot range.
1 round away from the creep round, though, so a bit of a breather.
Fibonacci versus Rat. Fibonacci has the Aegis. Rat could go down here.
The Terrorblade is very close as well for Fibonacci.
AM3 is chunking.
But it's not going to be enough here, I think. It's not enough damage.
Rat
the Aegis is there, though.
Aegis gets popped. MeNoHaxor against Zabiaka. And BBG against 4HE. Also ends up with
BBG knocked out,
getting
7th place. So Joseph was first and BBG was second. If any player can get 8th and 7th in this game, it's these 2 players. But right now, BBG was 4 points behind Joseph, so BBG all of a sudden, a fan favorite, could be in trouble.
This is very, very interesting. This could be a huge turnaround for the night.
You're literally flipping the group upside down for this last game, so it's looking scary.
And Rat, being behind on points, impossible to make
just
it.
Backstabbing everyone.
Is actually possibly one of the stronger boards in the lobby right now. Okay, and 6 players survive to the round 30 creep rounds, but I get the feeling 2 people at least are going to get knocked down by round 32. They have to be going out fast here. Item has big turnaround potential. We see the 2 Knights, 6 Knights, Fall from Grace players in the lead here. No surprises there.
So BBG getting 7th means that Joseph guarantees top 4.
All right.
There's only 3 players can pass him. Zabiaka cannot pass Joseph. So Joseph guarantees his place. It was a scare for him getting 8th, but BBG helped him out. He's like, okay, don't worry, buddy. I got you.
Zabiaka
acquired Moon Shard.
Moon Shard.
Very strong item.
Luna already having the Mask of Madness. Moonshard on the DK, looking for a 2-star DK to clinch it out. Would be a huge upgrade for him.
Oh, he found
28
one.
gold, finds the DK pair. Another DK would be
Necrophos.
huge. Lich can't fit in. He's looking for the DK. DK2 with the Moonshard is absolutely huge. He has the troll opportunity instead. He's considering it, but
Omni-Knight.
says no.
Chaos Knight.
That's an upgrade. It's not the DK. He's got like one more roll for this DK if he wants to take it. That's not what you want here. And we have to be looking at MeNoHaxor's board. MeNoHaxor at 1 health against Fibonacci. MeNoHaxor against Fibonacci, 1 and 2 health respectively. Haxor has the Aegis, so he's safe for 1 round.
And Fibonacci needs first. He has to. And he's at 2 HP, so he does have the Aegis, though.
Bomb is not necessarily going to do enough to auto-win the round, but Lycan is coming in for cleanup. The X3 is big enough. MeNoHaxor is good here. Fibonacci will take the blow. Fibonacci gets knocked down in 6th place, and Fibonacci is going to follow him, but Rat gets knocked out first. Rat 5th. Fibonacci is going down in 4th. 3 players knocked out in the same round.
So Fibonacci needed first place. Fibonacci is out alongside Rat. 2 players that cannot make it to the next day. 6 players have possibilities. Fibonacci ends up 6th place. He gets 3 points. He's at 49 points. He's below BBG by 1 point.
MeNoHaxor finds a second Medusa. He needs this sniper upgrade, though. That's how he comes back into this game. He's going to start having to sell a couple things. He's on Medusa pair, Techie's pair, but he doesn't have anything here. He's at 1 health, needs to stay alive. He has the Aegis, but he's probably going to get it burnt here as he hits Zabiaka's powerful Nightboard. This Luna is doing too much damage. I don't think he can win this. Disrupt ulti's huge. Double Techie's bomb. One Techie's bomb is ineffective. Zabiaka's board will chunk him. Aegis is burned. 4He's board is good against the Ghost.
And MeNoHaxor is currently 3rd in the standings, so I think this top 3 pretty much secures his spot. He jumps over BBG at least with these points, and over Joseph as well. I believe Joseph at 53. So I believe MeNoHaxor makes it.
Yep. I think MeNoHaxor is probably going to be going down in 33 here. He finds the sniper. That's huge. The only thing that could have bailed him out here, he could find either a Medusa or a Techie's upgrade. He has a couple more rolls here. There's the Dusa. He sells the Kunkka. He can upgrade the Dusa, and he's got another upgrade as well. He could put the Bloodstone on the Dusa. He has the ability to spread the debuffs. He might be able to make this here. This is what he needed.
And the Axe level 3 made it all the way to round 33.
He even hit 4He, probably the weaker board of the 2. He might be able to clinch this through, but the Knights are so powerful. The 4 3-stars. I don't know if it can do it. Huge Static Storm and Techie's bomb. And the Sniper's chunking.
The Knight Resilience, the Omni Knight.
I think Knights are too good, and that's got to be it. MeNoHaxor goes down in 3rd place. As you said, probably
6
enough.
points. Yeah, he makes it. He's at 54.
So between 4He and Zabiaka, what's it looking like?
Let me check.
Okay, Zabiaka gets trunked. 4He versus Zabiaka. This is really close. They almost have identical boards. 4He has the Luna with the Moonshard.
Zabiaka needs first place.
Zabiaka needs first place to make it.
He needs to leapfrog BBG.
That's the only way he makes it.
His round differential is at -19, so he just can't do it otherwise. He would go for the tiebreaker, but BBG has a +45 round differential, so he cannot leapfrog him in that sense.
34. All eyes are on the Scythe of Vice, currently on the Omni Knight. He could switch it last second. It's on the Omni Knight.
Yeah,
he needs to be able to secure a sheep against something really valuable like the Luna. That's got to be the most important thing. These Luna 3-stars are going to just chunk each other's boards. And it's just like an absolute grind fest here. I think 4He is good on these boards. It's really close. 4He makes it through. Zabiaka is taking some damage here. I think this is going to be enough to burn the Aegis. It is. Zabiaka loses his Aegis to this board. That's a big hit, but he makes it to 35. He has a bit of a break here. He's not going to be able to find improvements. The only improvement is the the triple Abaddon, which is not happening here.
So BBG's at 50 points, ended up 7th. Zabiaka wins. He gets 51. 4He gets 2nd. He gets 7 points. He ends up in 50 as well. So it would be a tiebreaker with BBG, which BBG has a crazy round differential, so he would not beat him. So both of these players, I believe, whoever wins moves on. Whoever loses gets 5th place, I believe, if my math is correct.
They're fighting for it. That's... I don't know if Zabiaka can win here. 4He just has a better board. The Moonshard on the Luna and the Scythe of Vice makes the difference. He's also got a big health lead. It's going to come down to this item, and nobody's on unit outs. Zabiaka could pull a triple Abaddon. That would be really, really hard to do. He needs a really, really good item from this creep round. Both players on Smuggler. This is the round 40 creep wave for items. Could find something big. Assault Curious by 4HE. It's really, really huge in these grindy fights.
Joseph, MeNoHaxor, and BBG essentially have made it due to the BBG's crazy tiebreaker. And Zabiyaka and Forhi are fighting for that 4th slot. Fibonacci did not make it. 49 points, not enough. What kind of a pack was that? Fibonacci and Rat also out. Fibonacci out.
This is it. This is the final battle. Zabiyaka versus Forhi. Zabiyaka needs to win like 3 times in a row. If he can do this, somehow, he will make day 3. But it's really hard. Forhi has the better board. He just got Assault Curious, a very, very powerful tier 5 item. And his Luna is weaker with the Mask of Madness.
So many level 3s, though, on the side of Forhi.
It's too much. It's just too much. And Forhi is just going to take
level 3
this
Viper.
one down.
Not enough.
Yep. So Forhi, according to Panda's math.
According to EU math.
According
it's
to
not
Panda's
NA math, it's EU math.
Yeah, I'm going to trust you on this one because mine
So
is
Forhi,
NA math.
43 points, gets 10 points, goes to 53. I think that almost guarantees it.
Okay.
Because
So
BBG is at 50.
according to Panda's math,
We'll find out.
Forhi might be advancing here. I'm gonna leave it up to
EU
Rob.
math. Rob has NA math, though. I'm not sure about that one.
It's hard.
Let's find out, though, please, analyst panel. Resolve the doubts that we have. Fantastic game, though, from all the players. Congratulations to everyone. Analyst panel, please break it down for us.